Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at the Dragon Shadow exotic chess piece. Now, this is going to get a buff in the Edge of Fate where it's going to passively grant additional weapon handling and stability, which is going to be really nice. Because this weapon, or not this weapon, sorry, this exotic is kind of limited because its uptime is based on when you have your dodge. Now, back in the day, this was definitely not really an issue because you could essentially loop this because Wraith Mail Metal or Wraith Metal Mail would last basically as long as your dodge would come. So you could really loop this infinitely, but as time has gone on, they have nerfed dodge cooldowns over and over and over to where it's a lot harder to keep this thing up most of the time. So it's going to get a nice little buff. But we're just going to show it off here today. We're going to use it with a Rose and a Prophet of Doom on Arc Staff here. Going to give our nice little handling jump and automatic reload whenever we dodge. So that's going to be really nice. So that's really going to be it. Let's get straight into the gameplay here. Alright, so we got kind of a big map here. This will be really more of an issue, but it shouldn't be too bad. But Dragon Shadow is going to be really good in the Edge of Fate with that passive handling and stability bump. Now, it's a little bit better than Ophidian's, I would say, just because I think extra stability is a lot harder to come by than extra reload speed, which is basically the trade-off you're getting. It's like, what's it called? Knock 'em down. So, like, before Solar 3.0 Hunter, whenever you get a headshot kill, you get knock 'em down, which is basically increased handling and stability, not reload speed. Which is basically what we're getting now on Dragon Shadow permanently. I don't think they're adjusting how long the actual perk lasts. But I did see that they're adjusting that it's not going to reload all of your weapons, which in all honesty is not the biggest deal. Just because you already have stuff like holster mods already reloading your special weapon. So not being able to reload both weapons on your dodge is not the biggest deal. But the weapon handling with Dragon Shadow is next level. And we don't know if it's going to be, you know, the same level of handling as like Ophidian's. It may not even give a passive 35. It could even be like a passive like 20, and I would say it'd still be really good. Especially when you activate your dodge, it's just going to give you the full bonus. But we'll have to see what the passive buff is looking like in game. We'll have to decipher that. But yeah, back in the day, this exotic used to be a lot better because you could loop Wraith Metal Mail. Try saying that like 10 times in a row, Jesus. But again, they kind of nerf dodge cooldowns repeatedly, where it's not like you can activate your dodge and then right as your bonus ends, you could just dodge again. So you kind of have to pick your spots a little bit more. So makes this exotic a little bit less consistent than it was back in the day. Back in the day, I remember like seasons like 10 and 11, you could just dodge and just kind of like spam it the entire time, and you'd always have the bonus, which is pretty nuts. We got a bolt charge. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely going to be a great exotic. And again, we'll just see how much stability and handling it gives. I wouldn't imagine it gives like the craziest amount of stability, because my guess is probably it's going to be like in that 10-15-ish range. Because any more than that would be kind of ridiculous. But if it gives anywhere near like 20 stability, that's going to make so many weapons a lot easier to use. And you could definitely play a little bit more passive with like a 120. I think that'd be like the perfect way to use this, because you'd have the reload on dodge, because you know 120s kind of suffer with reload. You'd have extra handling because they have lower handling, and then you have extra stability because they also usually have lower stability. So potentially using this exotic post buff with like a 120, I think would be just disgusting. That arc melee is so OP. You also do get extra slide distance when the buff is up. Well, there's a timer now actually available. I didn't see that. I'll have to see how long the timer is. Okay, so it's like 10 seconds. Which is pretty good. But again, like back in the day, you could loop that. Because your dodge cooldown was so fast. Or nearly loop it. It does also buff your mobility stat, I believe, by 50. When you have the bonus up. So you could potentially, like, put your dodge stat into other points. But I think that's actually less viable today, just because there's a lot of times where the bonus isn't up, so you just rather would have spec into higher mobility anyway. Unless you're using like a rose, which is, you know, gives you 20 mobility. Still an amazing bonus that you can just get 20 mobility from lightweight frame. Really good on hunters. This is definitely like the hunter hand cannon to use. That guy's 1 HP. Should die, right? Yeah, I was gonna say. I haven't used this super in a while. Let's see if I can just hit this. Or not. There we go. The super is pretty fun, but I understand why they had to nerf it. It was ridiculous. I remember when Final Shape came out, that was all anybody was using was Storm's Edge. There we go, a little arc bolt action. We do not have Warp Ball on a row, so we're definitely be backing up a little bit. Yeah, I feel like we haven't gotten the most use out of it. It's definitely a little bit more effective with lower handling weapons. And maybe like next game we'll throw on like, I don't know, like a 120 and like Found Verdict or something. We can actually like see the higher handling really play into effect. Oh, take the trade. Yeah, maybe I'll throw on something different next game. Throw on maybe like a... Maybe I'll throw on a steady hand I was using in the video the other day. Oh, we are so dead. Missed a couple easy ones. Yeah, I'm excited. I did see they're also buffing speed loader slacks. I do like those exotics too. That was a pretty fun one to use. They came out in Lightball. But I haven't used speed loaders in a while. I was mainly using them when Stompies were nerfed. I thought he jumped over me. Like, jump back or something. HP. Little row shots there. Putting shot rows is so good. Oh, we didn't dodge. Yeah, they had to. I think they just had to keep nerfing those dodge cooldowns because they kept adding abilities like Threaded Spectre and such to power creep what a dodge could do, so they had to nerf the cooldown over and over, which kind of nerfed this exotic, unfortunately. But let's get one more game in. Alright, perfect. Kind of loaded a match in progress, just okay. Just don't keep you guys for too long. But we have our 15 handling, steady hand, and our Found Verdict. But now, like, it's instant with Dragon Shadow. So for that 10 seconds, you can play a little bit more aggressively. But until then, kind of until you get your dodge again, you kind of have to play a little bit more passive because your handling is less fast. So you can't like switch back and forth to your shotgun and your tanking as quick. That's 1 HP. Let's get our dodge up. But yeah, when Dragon Shadow's up, it feels super nice. Oh, say the Arc Bolt didn't tag him? Oh, it tagged him late. That's the one thing with Arc Bolts is that, like, you need him to kill sometimes, but, like, in that situation, if it would have tagged earlier, like, before he punched me, like, when it should have, it would have killed him, but because it tagged after he got his health back, it didn't actually do anything. Gotta have to keep our shotgun out because we're not going to quickly switch to and from our shotgun and hand cannon. Oh, and we're fusion, and we can waste our dodge cooldown right as we killed that guy on the bottom there. So now we kind of have to wait for our dodge to get that 10 seconds of super handling, which is a little bit unfortunate. I mean, it kind of makes sense that it's on like a big cooldown like your dodge, because it is like the most handling you can possibly get. It's like 100 handling to both your weapons and like crazy multipliers. So you can take any weapon from super slow to super fast immediately off your dodge. So it's like, look how it took so long to get my steady hand out because it's 15 handling, and our shotgun is in the 50s with slide shot. So it's not like we can pull out our weapons really fast at all. We're definitely dead, yeah. But yeah, it's been kind of power crept these days because you can't just keep the dodge up or the buff up very often, which is a little bit unfortunate because this was a really fun exotic to use. But now that we have our dodge up, our buff, we can be really fast. You only get 10 seconds of being... Oh, it ran out the worst time. We could actually shoot our shotgun when we needed to. A little free tap there. Dang. I don't miss. Well, Mr. if you saw this gameplay, you definitely would see that I'd be missing. But thank you, dude. But yeah, you kind of have to have your weapons out preemptively if you're playing with the Dragon Shadow when you don't have the buff. Like the trade. That's why I kind of like it on Arc Hunter, because it pairs really well with Combination Blow and Lethal Current, where you can dodge and you get the crazy melee range and damage. So you do have like another close range tool when you can't switch your weapons this quick. Looks like we are gonna run out of time here. Maybe we can chuck a super in last second. Or miss. Not too bad. We'll definitely take that. Not too bad, not too bad. Alright guys, yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what Dragon Shadow is going to be like in Edge of Fate. We'll have to see the exact passive buffs, because that's really going to be the deciding factor, is how much passive handling and stability are we really going to get. But any amount is really going to be helpful. So I think this is going to be a really strong choice in the Edge of Fate, especially if you're on a hunter here. So thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll catch you guys next time.